बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार।
जय श्री कृष्ण। श्री कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरु, श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Adi Guru Sri Shankaracharya Ji has said in Bhaja Govindam, a person who reads a little from the Bhagavad Gita, drinks a sip of water from the holy Ganga river, worships Murari, Bhagavan Shri Krishna for a little moment, they need not fear Yama, the Lord of Death. We are indeed blessed to be learning the Bhagavad Gita from the Gita Pariwar. In addition to memorizing the Gita, the weekend Vivechan sessions provide us opportunities to delve into the profound significance of its verses, enabling us to inculcate its principles in our lives. Please do spread this word about these enlightening Vivechan sessions by sharing this link in your friends and family circles so you can be a positive influencer in their lives as well. Today, we are having the interpretation session on the first part of the second adhyaya of Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā, Sankhya Yoga. As the saying goes, Tasyaiva Chetasa Sarvam Jagat Chalati. Let us pray to the Bhagavan and seek the blessings. To recite the Prarthana, we have Dr. Pratiksha Mairalji with us. Pratiksha ji is a retired principal from Panchkula, Haryana. She holds a MSc and PhD degrees. Her hobbies include reading, traveling, and music. Associated with Gita Pariwar since February 2023, Didi ji is offering Seva as a co-trainer and as a group coordinator. Pratiksha ji, Jai Shri Krishna, I request you to recite the prayer.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णो वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णो वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को।
Jai Shri Krishna, Pratiksha ji Didi, beautifully done. Thank you so much. Now, Jai Shri Krishna. Now it is time for Deepa Prajwalan. Let us ward off the tamas in and around us with the Jyoti. Deepa Jyotif Parabrahma, Deepa Jyotir Janardanaha, Deepo Haratu Me Papam, Deepa Jyotir Namostute. We have Shri Prashant Patel ji with us to light the lamp. Prashant ji is a software architect from Frisco, Texas, US. And Prashant ji is offering Seva as a technical assistant by pursuing sadhana in L3 as well. Now let us request Prashant ji for the
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you so much, Prashantji Bhayaji, for the Deepa Prajwalan, and also you have did the puja for the articles like pen, your laptop, book, everything. It's so nicely done. Thank you, Bhayaji, for giving us the auspicious beginning for today's session. Now, before we get started with the session, quick announcement. Level 4 Samskrita Vyakarana, the grammar classes, are being scheduled for tomorrow, Sunday, October 27th. Please plan on attending the session in the language of your choice, either at 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. And also, a new L1 batch will be starting from November 8th, 2024. Please do share the details with your family and friend circles, and then you can be the positive catalyst for putting them on the spiritual sadhana path. Now it is time for the most awaited part of the session. Our speaker of the day is respected Shri Vikas Vaidya ji Bhayaji. He is a multifaceted individual. Professionally, he works as a mechanical engineer and owns an IT company in Pune. He is an avid traveler and a polyglot, fluent in many Indian and foreign languages. And his spiritual achievements are also equally noteworthy. As a key member of the Geeta Pariwar, he plays a crucial role in training participants at all 4 levels of the Geeta learning program. And he is a skilled and inspiring mentor. He is also involved in selecting and training new trainers. Additionally, he serves as a trainer and interpreter of the Vishnu Sahasranama as well. His personal spiritual practice is equally impressive. He has memorized all 18 chapters of the Gita, winning the first prize in the Gita Kantastha Pariksha from Paramapujya Jagadguru Shankaracharya ji of Shrungeri Pitha. He consistently recites all 18 chapters daily, a practice he has maintained for over 5 years. It is indeed our honor and privilege to welcome Vikas ji Vaidya ji Bhaiya ji to today's interpretation session on Sankhya Yoga. Vikas ji Vaidya ji Bhaiya ji, Jai Shri Krishna, we request you to please enlighten our mind with
जय
your...
श्री कृष्ण। परम पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। टुडे आर स्टार्टिंग सेकंड अध्याय सांख्य योग, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट अध्याय भगवद गीता। इन फर्स्ट अध्याय वी हैव स्टडीड अर्जुन विषाद। मेनी पीपल थिंक फर्स्ट अध्याय इज ओके, बट रियल गीता स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम सेकंड अध्याय। पार्टली ट्रू, not 100%, but partly. So this second adhyaya we are going to start from today, Sankhya Yoga. A brief introduction of this adhyaya first. There are 72 shloks in this adhyaya, for which 65 are in Anushtup Chanda and 7 are in Trishtup Chanda. Speakers of shlok Sanjay will speak 3 shlokas, Bhagavan Shri Krishna 61 and Arjuna 8 shlokas. Now what we are going to learn in this Sankhya Yoga. The name of this adhyaya is Sankhya Yoga. The first question that comes to our mind is, what is Sankhya? What is Sankhya? Sankhya means the intellect filled with wisdom. In Sanskrit we call it Jnana Yukta Buddhi. Jnana Yukta Buddhi is Sankhya. This means Sankhya Yoga also means Dhyana Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. We all know Arjuna had Vishad, sadness, sorrow. But in reality, if we really analyze, when we grieve for others, that is called sorrow. But when we grieve for ourselves, it is not sorrow, it is self-pity. It is self-pity. And self-pity is not Shreyas. It's not Kalyankari, it's not beneficial. Many people have this habit of going into self-pity at all times. But self-pity is a bad quality. And Arjuna was in self-pity, not in sorrow or grief. Now to perform swakarma or swadharma, you need the intellect, your buddhi, filled with firm determination. That determination, buddhi, is called Nishyatmak Buddhi. In this adhyaya, we learn what is Nishyatmak Buddhi. And for self-realization, that means for Atma Jnana, we need the intellect filled with wisdom. Only intellect is of no use. Unless it is filled with wisdom, we cannot do self-realization, we cannot attain Atma Jnana. Shri Krishna Bhagavan is going to impart that wisdom to Arjuna in this adhyaya. So what wisdom Shri Krishna is going to teach us? He is going to give us in this adhyaya. To summarize this message of Shri Krishna given in this adhyaya, Shri Krishna has said 3 important things in this adhyaya. 3 important things. Number 1, performing your swadharma is a must. And it should be performed with the sense of equanimity, samata buddhi. In this adhyaya, there is a very important shlok, samatva yoga uchyate. So the sense of equanimity has to be there without any bias. Second point, the soul is imperishable and what is perishable is body. We need to clearly distinguish between these two, and Lord Krishna is going to train us on this aspect as well. Third thing which Lord Krishna is going to teach us is Palatyag, means to give up relinquish expectations of return reward by performing your swadharma and perform your swakarma without the sense of doership. That means without kartrutva bhiman. So two important things in this point: giving up expectation of return reward, palatyag, and giving up sense of doership, kartrutva bhiman. Every karma that we do, it has two poisonous teeth. Every karma performed by us has two poisonous teeth. One teeth is of return reward expectation, and the second teeth is the pride, ego, sense of doership. Maine kiya, I have done it. Because of me it has happened. Now these poisonous teeth should be removed, and then our karma becomes nishkam karma, helping us to get rid of from this cycle of birth and death. So these aspects Shri Krishna Bhagavan is going to teach us in this adhyaya. Though the name of the adhyaya is Sankhya Yoga, but the last few shlokas are pertaining to karma yoga as well. And to absorb these wonderful messages and to fill up our buddhi, our intellect with this jnana, with this wisdom, is called Sankhya Yoga. The word Sankhya, it comes from Sanskrit and it translates to number or knowledge. The philosophy of Sankhya Yoga analyzes the relationship between the man and matter and the nature of this universe, the cosmos. Having said that, what is the background of Adhyaya 2, Sankhya Yoga? We all know the story of Mahabharata, that before the war started, Dhritarashtra, one of the most cunning characters of Mahabharata, he had sent his emissary, the plain-hearted, kind-hearted Sanjaya, to Pandava camp to convey to them that Pitama, Bhishma and Dronacharya have prepared to fight against Pandavas. They are going to fight from Kaurav side and they are prepared to fight against Pandavas. Can Pandava take up the fight against them? This was the message instilled in Pandava camp by Dhritarashtra through Sanjay. So he had planned to instill a guilt in Pandava's mind, particularly in Arjuna's mind, that fighting against Pitama Bhishma, fighting against your Guru Dronacharya, you have the guts to fight against them. Can you lift your arrow and shoot at them? And when in the first adhyaya, Arjuna refused to take up the battle, Dhritarashtra must have had a very cunning laugh that my planning has been successful. Arjuna has withdrawn from the battle. And that was his plan. So the background of Adhyaya 2 is of course Adhyaya 1. Arjuna, after seeing his near ones and dear ones standing opposite each other and willing to kill each other, got deeply saddened and worried and expressed in several ways as to how this war is going to be futile. In first adhyaya, you must be remembering several shlokas from Arjuna saying it is not correct to fight this war. Tatra pashyasidan partha pitrunata pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratan putran pautran sakim stata. Krishnan surdashyayo senayor bhayorpi tan samipsha kaunteya sarvan bandhun avasthitan. Krupaya paryavishto vishidan nidam abravit. And then he said, Društvevam svajanam Krishna yutsum samupastitam Sidanti mama gatrani mukhainja parishishyati. They are all swajan. They are all my people. I am seeing them. They are all getting ready to kill each other. Dhritarashtra in the first sloka, if you remember, he had said, Mamaka, my sons, and Pandava, Pandu's sons. But see the difference between the mentality of Arjuna and Dhritarashtra. For Dhritarashtra, they were my son and Pandu's son. For Arjuna, they are all swajan. They are all my people. Maybe standing in opposite camp, that does not change their relationship with me. Kaka is going to be Kaka only, Mama is going to be Mama only. So they are all swajan. Drishtivam Sujanam Krishna Yutsam Samvasthitam. And after that, what happened? Sidanti mam atrani mukhaincha parishushati veputhasya sharire me roma harshasya jayate. The life had become lifeless. Body had started trembling. Mouth has gone dry. Gandivam saraswate hastat. The Gandiv Dhanusha has slipped out of his hands. Nacha shakno me vastato, not able to stand also. Body is trembling. Brahmati vachme manaha. Mind is going haywire. So these are all the things that we discussed in the first adhyay, wherein Arjuna has perfectly described his psychological condition to his dear friend Krishna. He has not kept anything hidden. Whatever is going on in his mind, whatever is happening to his body, he has expressed it directly, correctly, perfectly to his friend Krishna. Krishna is just listening. In first adhyay, Lord Krishna has not a single word, he has not spoken a single shloka. He is just watching, he is just observing. But this thing has happened, and then, as I said, Dhritarashtra must be a very happy person. That now, probably the war will not take place, because Arjuna has withdrawn. He says, I will not fight. So all Pandavas will definitely withdraw. So this was the background of second adhyay. With this, now we'll start reading the adhyay. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Adha Dvitiyodhyāyah. Sanjaya Uvaca. Tan tatha krupaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvaca Madhusudanaha. Sanjaya Uvaca. Sanjay has said. Sanjay is narrating entire thing to Dhritarashtra, his boss. Tam means Arjuna. Tatha means like this, in this way. Krupaya means not Hindi krupaya, please. Krupaya means fear, compassion. Avishtam is to get covered. Ashrupurna akula, full of tears. Ikshinam means the eyes. Vishidantam, deep distress, sadness. Idam, these. Vakyam is words, sentences. Uvaca is to say. Madhusudana, Madhu was the name of that demon killed by Krishna, so his name is Madhusudana. So these are the words that Sri Krishna spoke to Arjuna, whose eyes were burning with tears of self-pity, Vishidanta, and confusion. The theme of this adhyay, Sankhya Yoga, is Brahma Jnana, the spiritual knowledge. Arjuna was deeply drowned in despondency due to the delusion and confusion that came to his mind as to what is his duty, what is the right duty. Based on dharma, what is my right duty? This confusion came to his mind. Now it is a matter of surprise that how a brave hero like Arjuna, who was impatient and very determined to fight and destroy his opponents a few moments back, is succumbing to attachment and declaring his decision not to fight. What happened? This indicates that how uncertain and unpredictable is the man's mind, even to himself. We cannot read our own mind correctly. Mind is thinking something now, after a few moments, what it will think, we also cannot predict. And exactly this thing happened with Arjuna. So as long as man has not disciplined his sense-based mind, victory in life will always elude him. He cannot expect victory in any aspect of life unless he has disciplined his mind. The spiritual knowledge of Gita commences from this chapter, Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means yoga of spiritual knowledge. In one simple sentence, seeing the same self in all. Seeing the same self in all And this knowledge leads to God contact. Right from beginning of the second chapter, Shri Krishna reveals himself as a perfect spiritual teacher, striking a strong note intended to shock Arjuna. Out of his despondency, of course. When Shri Krishna was silent until now, opens the dialogue. There are no soft words, nor is he going to give a very deep philosophy right in the beginning. He is speaking common man language. No honeyed phrases. He pours withering contempt upon Arjuna, who has been weeping and protesting that he cannot fight against his senses, against his wish, against his passions. Now, no spiritual teacher fails to resort to this method of shocking and strengthening us with strong words when the occasion demands. If we go crying to our Guru, Guru will also admonish us. And of course, when opportunity calls for supporting us with tender, compassionate and loving word, the Guru will use that also, like Krishna has used in Gita. See, when a child, as a child, you can remember your old days, when as a child, we go to our spiritually inclined, say, grandmother or grandfather in the family, complaining that others are causing me pain and sorrow, he is troubling me, that fellow is troubling me. Our grandfather would prick the bubble with ease by pointing out that you are not suffering from sorrow, but you are suffering from self-pity. When you grieve for others, that is sorrow. It is ennobling and strengthening. Grieving for others, good. But when you grieve for yourself, it is not really sorrow. It is the emotion called self-pity. And immediately, like a true friend, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna to stop behaving like a, what should I say, like a water buffalo, which if it sees the pond of mud, the water buffalo will go and roll in it over and over again until it is completely covered with the mud. It enjoys that, rolling in the mud. In order to live like a human being, to lead a spiritual life, Shri Krishna insists Arjuna stop wallowing in self-pity. Rona band karo. Self-pity is not good thing. Now, to apply this to ourselves in our own life, we have to only in our own mind to see how much of our time we spend in thinking upon what my father said to me, what my mother did to me, what our partner said 5 years back on some particular occasion. This is what keeps going on endlessly in our subconscious. And Gita tells us you are wasting your time and energy. Now, Arjuna was a handsome man, beautiful man, smart man. He had beautiful eyes. But when he has been sulking like a little child, crying, weeping like a little child, shedding so many tears of self-pity that he cannot see anything clearly. Ashra Purna Kulekshanam. So many tears in his eyes that he could not see. In our case, our eyes are full of self-pity. But in that self-pity, we see even those who are dear to us as very cruel people. Not because they are really cruel to us, but because the tears of self-pity have clouded our vision. That's why self-pity is something terrible. One should get rid of self-pity as quickly as possible. Some Buddha used to say that those who keep harboring the thoughts of he abused me, he beat me, he defeated me, he robbed me, those who keep complaining about others, hatred will never cease in their mind. It will always be there. Hatred for somebody will always be there. It will never cease in their mind. Only those who do not harbor such thoughts, hatred will cease to exist one day in their mind. Gita preaches a person's master achievement in this life is the equanimity of mind, which can be achieved both through Sankhya Yoga, which we are going to study in this chapter now. You call it Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, as explained in this chapter, second chapter, and through Karma Yoga, as explained in the concluding part of this chapter, as well as we know in third and fourth chapter, Paramatma has described Karma Yoga in details. Now in the next shloka, second shloka, Lord will tell Arjuna to silence this. He did this to me, that fellow did that to me, that kind of syndrome, stop. And here, what Lord Krishna has to shock him about. Krishna had to be severe to get Arjuna out of this morass. And this is how Shri Krishna will show his love for Arjuna, by properly guiding him, using proper words. Okay, we continue to second shloka now. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anarishtamasvargyam Akirti Karama Arjuna. Shri Krishna is not using very complicated Tattva Jnana philosophy. He is speaking common man language. Kuta, from where? To you, Kashmalam, fear, dirty thoughts, depressing thoughts. Idam, this frustration. Vishame, at this hour of crisis, both the armies are getting ready and you have started crying. Samupasthitam, samupasthitam is to come, to arrive at. Anarya Jushtam, wise people do not behave like this. Anarya. What is Anarya? We'll see that. Asvargam. This kind of behavior will not get you to the heaven. Asvargam. Akirtikaram. It will not grace your fame also. So, my dear Arjuna, what has come upon you on this critical hour? What has happened to you? How did you get caught up in such ignorance, which has made you so distraught with the pain of attachment? It is not at all befitting a man of your stature. And remember, escaping your duty and becoming a renunciate sannyasi will neither lead you to the heaven, asvargyam, or will not attain any honor or acclaim, akirtikaram. So what are you doing, my dear? What are you doing? Shri Krishna looks with severity at Arjuna, who is overwhelmed by horror and the agony of self-knotting, and says, where does this depression, despair, self-pity come from, Arjuna? You are originally a brave person. These qualities are not your own. They have been imported from somewhere. So from where these have come into you? Get rid of these. They have no place where I live in your heart. In Gita, this slok is the opening speech of Lord Krishna. And it unfolds the very center of the theme. Gita says that a man's enemy is delusion-based attachment, and his master achievement is the enlightenment-based equanimity of mind, which is a direct path to the God. A person works for respect. See, all of us avoid work. We work for respect and progress in this life on the earth when we are alive, and for attainment of heaven when we die. These two simple objectives we have in our mind, and our forefathers, our ancestors have taught us these two principles. While you are living, try to live as happily as possible, try to collect as much as possible, live happily. But when you are dying, set your goal as attaining heaven after death. Now God is there for cautioning Arjuna that his timid conduct will deprive him of both these. You will neither be happy here nor will you get Swargam. Now here the word Anarya is to be noted. What is Anarya? As we know, Mahabharata war was fought at the end of Dwapar Yuga and at the beginning of Kali Yuga. which means several thousand years back the war was fought. We must also note that the word Arya, it denotes both the cultural and ethnic expressions. Arya. The ruling and fighting class in India was called Arya. Fairness to all and fortitude in battle was their trait, was their quality, Arya people. Fairness to all and fortitude in battle. Seeing timidity gripping Arjuna, Lord calls him, you are not Arya, you are Anarya. You are Anarya. Gita says, a man who dodges his duty, he forfeits the right not only to enter the heaven, but even to the honor, peace, progress in this life. Asvargam, the meaning here we should take is the self-realization, not the physical heaven, but the self-realization. See, we are all human beings. Okay, fine. But it is not enough that we walk on two legs or we make a good makeup on our face, put on new clothes, new suit, get into a new car. That does not make us human being. The capacity to forget our own personal pleasures and bless those who curse us. These are what mark the human beings. Shri Krishna says, Asvargyam. That means with your behavior, Arjuna, you have locked the door of kingdom of heaven by refusing to eliminate your ego. By failing to turn your back on self-will and selfness, you are closing the door of heaven, Asvargyam. So, as I said, Krishna is using the common man language to tell Arjuna that rethink about what you are doing. But since no response from Arjuna, now Krishna is using a very strong word, almost like an abuse. Sloka number 3. Klaibyammasmagamah partha naitat vayyupapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyan tyaktvatishta parantapo. My God, Klaibya. Klaibya means impotent. Napunsak, namard. Masma, do not. Gama, take two. Partha is of course Arjuna. Etat means this. Tvai, you. Upapadyate is befitting, proper. Shudram, petty. Hridaya, of heart. Daurbalyam, weakness. Tyaktva, give up, relinquish. Uttishta, get up. Parantapa is called for Arjuna. So Krishna says, therefore, Arjuna, do not succumb to impotency. For this is not appropriate for a Kshatriya like you. Cast away the petty weakness of your heart and stand up to fight. Uttishta. There is nothing more humiliating for a man than to be called as impotent. And here, Sri Krishna is saying to Arjuna, how come you have given in to so much degrading impotency? Such cowardice is not becoming of you. In this crucial moment, when both the armies are standing against each other, any time the first arrow may get shot, at this critical moment, you are running away like an impotent weakling. Give up this spineless, cowardly attitude, Arjuna. Rise above this weakness and get ready to fight. Now, Arjuna was thinking of fighting in such a war which involved killing of his kin and respectable people as adharma, and not waging such a war as an act of dharma. This is what going on in the Arjuna's mind. Now, Shri Krishna points out that such a feeling was born of the feebleness of mind caused by his delusion, ignorance. It is for this reason that the scriptures indicate that the man's greatest enemy is his own mind and senses. Because mind and senses are always exposed to delusion and illusion. no man can become master unless he masters his own mind. The Lord is telling Arjuna to give up weakness of mind and fight with detachment to answer the call of duty. You see, escaping or running away from problem is an easy option. Anybody can do it. But where will you run? Where will you run? To which nook and corner of this world you will run? Because if your mind is not trained, then no matter where you go, lack of wisdom will ensure the creation of new problems for you, wherever you go. So it is not situation that gives you the grief, but rather it is the lack of appropriate training of the mind which gives you the pain. What Sri Krishna said to Arjuna is saying the same to all of us. What did he say? Do not run away from your problems. Face them. No matter what the problem is, there is always a solution for it. And running away is definitely not an answer. Some people, as we know, they say they cannot get along with their son, they cannot get along with their daughter-in-law. So at old age, they want to leave their home and go and live in an ashram. But remember, if you are finding it difficult to get along with your own family members, you will find it even more difficult to get along with some strangers in the ashrama. So instead of running away from your family, bring in some wisdom and change your attitude. It is not the situation, but the mindset that needs to be changed. A small story about Sant Tukaram, about how the change of mind can make you happy. Tukaram's wife, as we all know, Jai, was very, very ill-tempered woman, whose every sentence would begin with a verbal abuse. Once, while Tukaram was guarding his crops in his sugarcane field, his mind got centered on his beloved Govinda, 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 Govinda. And he got engrossed in singing Lord's praises. And soon he went into the state of complete divine absorption, ignoring what is going on around him, oblivious of his external surroundings. The cows and bulls who were waiting there were all waiting for this very moment, and they made the most of it. Within minutes, the entire crop got ravaged. Only one sugar cane was standing in the field. With the Lord's glory on his lips, Tukaram carried it home. One single sugar cane was remaining, he carried it home. Meanwhile, his wife had got the whiff of what has happened in the farm, in the field. She told about the incident through someone, and she was sitting in anger. When this guy comes, let me see. As soon as she saw him, she lashed out at him with the choicest of abuses which she had at her own command. But Tukaram was in his own world of divine bliss. Her words had no effect on him. Very calmly he said, one God and one sugarcane stick. Just as one God is realized by eradicating all mental tendencies, likewise, destruction of all except one sugarcane stick was my Lord's way of reminding me to focus only on one supreme divinity and forget everything else. This is wisdom. This is the attitude of wise ones. He had, after all, suffered a loss, so he could have opted to keep crying and crying and crying, just as we could probably do in that situation. But instead, he viewed it as a golden day of his life. What a message Paramatma has given me. He saw Lord's blessing in that incident also. However, this angered his wife even more. She thrashed him with that one sugar cane stick, which broke into two pieces. Tukaram, on the other hand, was still smiling. Smilingly, he said, "Oh, very thoughtful of you, my dear. There was only one sugar cane stick, but two of us to eat. Now, thanks to you, there is one piece for each of us. Now, both of us can share this God's prasad. I am so fortunate to have a lovely wife like you, who is so thoughtful. Now, was it not too difficult, distressing situation for Tukaram? It was, but he chose not to fight. Instead, he understood what the situation was and acted in appropriate manner. So Shri Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you are facing a war, and furthermore, you know the reason of the war also. Why the war has happened, why the war is going to happen. And here you are saying that I won't fight for a kingdom. Don't be a fool. Is the war happening for the sake of kingdom? Do you think that the sinful Duryodhana will spread goodwill? Will he condone the virtuosity and the righteousness in the kingdom? If you and your brothers who are so brave and who are capable of fighting this unrighteous Duryodhana, if you refuse to do so, will the common man be able to fight with Duryodhana? Who will protect them then? So get up and perform your duty of waging this war. Next shloka, Arjuna still has no effect of very hard words used by Krishna. He says, Arjuna vacha katham bhishmamaham sankhe dronai cha madhusudana ishveh pratiyotsyami pujarha varisudana. Arjuna says, okay, what you say is okay, fine. Katham, who? Bhishmam, Pitama Bhishma, Aham, I, Sankhe, on this battlefield of Kurukshetra, Guru Dronacharya, Dronam, Madhusudana, killer of Madhu, that means Lord Krishna, Ishubhi, Ishubhi is with arrows, took an attack. Pujarhar, those who are worshipable. Harisudana, again, killer of enemies. So Arjuna says, Madhusudana, how can I throw arrows at my beloved grandsire Bhishma, my Guru Dronacharya, whom I worship with all my heart? I can kill Duryodhana, I can kill Dushasana, but tell me, how can I pierce the heart of my endeared grandfather Pitama Bhishma and my revered Guru Dronacharya? The revered teacher who taught me how can I kill him? He taught me. And you do know that it is under compulsion that they have allied with Kauravas in this war. They are not mentally willing to fight from their side, but under compulsion they are fighting from Kauravas' side. Then how can I kill them? We have grown up playing in the lap of our grandsire Bhishma, respecting him so much that we can even look into him in his eyes. Never raised our voice in front of him. How can I take up arms against such respectable Pitama Bhishma and Guru Dronacharya? Now, as we know, Pitama Bhishma, Dronacharya and Arjuna are the three characters of Mahabharata war who were the living legends. Their respect and immense love for one another was rooted in their respective merit. Dronacharya, who was the living eminence of archery, was the Guru of Arjuna. Arjuna attracted his Guru's love and admiration due to his superb merit. Bhishma was the grandsire of Arjuna, but Arjuna's excellence and wizardry as a warrior, that had earned Bhishma's inexhaustible love and admiration for Arjuna. Arjuna had truly become the proverbial apple of grandmother's eye. If anything, Arjuna was the only weakness of Pitama Bhishma. This background was putting fetters on Arjuna's will to fight, that they love me so much and I fight against them. And mind you, here is the master stroke of the genius of Mahabharata and our Sanatan philosophy and of course of Bhagavad-Gītā. What is the master stroke? Duty is opaque to sentiment. When it's a question of duty, sentiment do not matter at all. So duty is opaque to sentiment. This is the master stroke. It is the duty of state and the social elite to uphold dharma, and every kshatriya's duty to fight adharma. The central idea is that Arjuna's fear was not at all of getting killed, but to kill the great ones like Pitama, Bhishma and Dronacharya, because that would mean sin and that would mean entering the hell. So this was the confusion in Arjuna's mind. Let us continue Shlok number 5. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shriyo bhoktum bhaikshamapi haloke atvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan drudara pradigdhan. Arjuna is further explaining now what is going to happen. He says Guru nahatva. The Guru, the teacher, ahatva, not killing, mahanubhavan, the great superior people, souls, bhoktum, to enjoy life and its pleasures, shreya, shreya means better, bhaiksham, bhaiksham is begging, loke, loke in the world, artha, artha is to gain, kaman, desire, bhunjiya, to enjoy, bhogan, the bhogas, enjoyable things, rudhira, rudhira is blood, pradigdhan, to get tempted with. So Arjuna says, I would prefer to live in this world as a beggar rather than live at the cost of killing my great teachers. I see my welfare in that too, because the victory, the wealth gained by slaying, by killing my guru will be tainted with their blood. How can I enjoy such a victory? The victory in which my hands will be tainted with the blood of my guru, how can I enjoy that victory? Arjuna says, Lord, what superior action am I going to perform by slaying my own teachers? How can I do that? There can be no greater hell for me. After all, is not killing one's guru the biggest sin ever? How can any disciple, any shishya even think of killing his master? Furthermore, who knows that even after killing these revered teachers, Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya, Duryodhana may still be alive and he may still escape the death. Is not that possible? Yes, maybe possible. You see, Arjuna's response is activated by sentiment. His disrespect, his deep respect for Bhishma and Dronacharya, etc. But the Lord is talking in a much greater context of duty and dharma. Arjuna is talking from the point of view of sentiment, attachment. Krishna is trying to tell him in the context of duty and dharma, advising every kshatriya to fight and protect the sanctity of duty and sanctity of dharma. These two important institutions. Now, this dialogue of Arjuna is of a man and not of a master who has understood Geeta. He is still learning, which he is to become after knowing what is Sthita Prajna. In this adhyaya only we will study what is Sthita Prajna. One who has transcendented and mastered his mind is Sthita Prajna. So the basic difference between a man, ordinary man like us, and the master is that the man lives on mental level, whereas he is exposed to the alternates of courage and fear, knowledge and ignorance, pain and pleasure, honor and shame, whereas the master lives in the spirit. The pair of opposites do not affect him at all. To know the threefold function of Prakriti, what are the functions of Prakriti? Creation, preservation, and destruction. And in this, neither the soul nor the God interferes. So the man has to rise above body and mind and reach the spirit level of super consciousness. And this is what Krishna has started doing now with Arjuna. He wants Arjuna to get elevated from body, mind, senses, intellect to the spirit level of super consciousness. And in the process, we are also getting benefited because we are also learning the same technique what Arjuna was taught by Krishna. Next slok. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदि वानो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा निजिजीविषामस्तेव स्थितः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. Now further, Arjuna is having this doubt. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो. Katarat, which gariyo is better. Jayema, we may win. Jayeyo, they will win. Jiji Vishama, we would want to live. Avasthita, standing, situated. Pramukhe, opposite us. Dhartarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra. So Arjuna's next question is, vanquishing them or being vanquished by them, I don't know what is better. The Chaitadvidna Karanogariyo. Vanquishing them or being vanquished by them, what is better? I don't know. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. This much I know. We would not then want to live also. I even don't know whether we will win or lose the war. Yadva jayama yadivano jayo. If we win, we will have killed our own teachers and dear ones to be victorious. And really, when the war breaks, nobody knows who is going to win. However powerful one side may be, but we can't tell with certainty that this side is going to win and that side is going to lose. We are watching Russia-Ukraine war for last more than 2.5 years. When the war broke, everybody in the world thought Russia will finish the war in 1 week. There were interviews from Russian people that we will finish them in 5 days. Nothing has happened even after 2.5 years. Russia is close to getting bankrupt, but they have still not won the war. So when the war breaks, nobody can predict what is going to happen. Yadva jayamai divano jay. So the impression that has gripped the mind of Arjuna is that killing blood relation is an act of adharma. And the penalty of such a sin is hell. So victory or defeat in such a war is therefore of no consequence at all for Arjuna. When both the ways he is going to land in the hell only. If he wins, go to hell. If he loses, go to hell. When both the ways are leading him to land in the hell only, then how can one way be better than other? Moments before he was impatient to kill and fight Kauravas, and suddenly casting a look at them before fighting, he is totally a changed man now. The very idea of killing Kauravas has suddenly become very abhorrible for him now, terrible for him now. This is the universal spell of Maya. No mind can escape the inexorable power of Maya. Only knowledge. Atma Jnana and Brahma Jnana is the remedy to pierce through that Maya. And that is why we are learning Gita, to pierce that Maya and not get attracted in this kind of things. Next, 7th sloka. Parpanyadoshopahatha svabhava prachami tvan dharma sammuda chetaha yachreyascha nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste ham shadiman tvam prapannam. Now Arjuna has accepted that something is wrong with me. Definitely. I am not a person like this, but something has gone wrong. So he is saying to Arjuna, you say that I am behaving like a coward, that I have lost all composure and I have been overcome by weakness. But I am confused as to what is my duty and what is not. I do not know what to do. All I am certain about is that You alone, Krishna, know what is best for me. Hence, I surrender to you. Prapannam, Shadiman Tvam Prapannam. So I surrender myself to you and hereby become your disciple. Shishyasteham. I become your Shishya. You are my Guru now. I surrender it to you wholeheartedly. You know what is best for me. Only you can guide me and tell me what is good for me and what is not in my interest. So I surrender. I become your Shishya. Please guide me now. Shadiman Tvam Prapannam. I have surrendered to you already. Now, before we go further on this, Arjuna has already surrendered now. We should remember that Krishna and Arjuna were bosom friends. And they were related to each other as well. When Shri Krishna's sister Subhadra, she fell in love with Arjuna and wanted to marry him, the elders in the family, Balaram in particular, were not in favor of that relationship. But such was the depth of love Shri Krishna had for Arjuna that he himself made all arrangements for his sister Subhadra to elope with Arjuna. He told Subhadra, run away with Arjuna, who will be waiting for you in his chariot. I will take care of everyone here, don't worry. Now, as we all know, Kunti was maternal aunt of Shri Krishna. Therefore, the family members would never consent to such a marriage. But Krishna, for him, the love was supreme. When Subhadra first confessed her love for Arjuna, Shri Krishna asked Arjuna if he too was in love with Subhadra. And when Arjuna nodded in affirmation, Lord blessed him, saying that Vijayi Bhava. Subhadra said, Balram will thrash us. He would not let us leave. But Shri Krishna calmed her down and replied to Subhadra, go, run away and get married. Don't worry about the consequences. Such was the charm of honey-tongued Krishna that he could prove right to be wrong and wrong to be right in just a moment. Now tell me which brother would do this? Moreover, how many sisters have this kind of transparent relationship with their brothers so as to honestly open their heart to their brothers? And knowing that marriage was not possible, which brother would encourage his sister to elope? But Sri Krishna was Sri Krishna. Only one of his type. No one like Sri Krishna in the entire history of India. See, up till now, I mean, till the first chapter of Gita, Arjuna has been addressing and talking to Sri Krishna in the capacity of a childhood friend. All that, like two friends share each other problem, so he is telling all that. And opening his heart, telling him his woes. But Sri Krishna did not utter a single word and just kept listening patiently. And there is wisdom in this behavior of Sri Krishna. Whenever you are faced with anyone who is overcome by grief, crying, wailing, don't start preaching to that person immediately. Let the fellow pour his misery out and empty his heart. Assure him that you are all ears, you are all listening to him, willing to listen wholeheartedly all of his woes. Here Krishna played the role of an excellent psychotherapist and patiently listened to all that Arjuna had to say. It is only when Arjuna's distress reached to such a state that he was willing to renounce, willing to start begging, getting ready to become sadhu, that Krishna could not help but speak. Only then he admonished Arjuna, saying, what is wrong with you? Why are you behaving in such an ignorant way? How could you even talk of quitting the war in this critical situation? Get up and fight. Now, Arjuna's feeble-mindedness is rooted in three factors. Factor number one, Arjuna's great desire, being a karma yogi, was to attain moksha. By killing his blood relations, Arjuna feels, as some scriptures also state, that he will have to enter the hell and moksha will be out of question. Second, compassion is compelling Arjuna not to kill his cousins for enjoyment of kingdom. Third factor, Arjuna is convinced that if he did not fight the war and withdrew from it, it will be a total recluse without any means of living. Because Duryodhana and Kauravas had already refused to give Pandava even the speck of land. So does he live by begging? But then begging is prohibited for Kshatriyas. This being contrary to the Kshatriya dharma, he may face the hell even on this account. So what to do? This scenario has built an insurmountable crisis for Arjuna. No chance of moksha anywhere. Everywhere, hell, hell, hell. That is what he was perceiving all the time. But in this slok number 7, having surrendered to Krishna, having become his disciple now, Lord Krishna has the moral duty to help his sincere disciple Shishya in his dire moment of crisis. And here onwards, the Sankhya Yoga will start getting unfolded. A great knowledge which the world knew for the first time in this age. It will start getting unfolded from now on. Next sloka, slok number 8. Arjuna's further. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yachokamuchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatna bruddham rajyam suranam apichadipatyam. Arjuna says, I do not see any remedy which can remove my intense grief which is drying up my senses. Even if I become sovereign of this prosperous earth and celestial heaven, that too cannot relieve me of my grief. You give me the kingdom of earth, you give me the Swargaloka, even that cannot relieve me of my grief. See, in fact, Arjuna's affliction is due to sense attachment. Sense attachment is the enemy of peace and spiritual liberation. So, earthly and heavenly kinsmanship, the kingdom, is no more a remedy for that problem, to his afflictions, isn't it? So, disease is something and the medication given is something different totally. Suppose somebody is a cancer patient. Can a Ceridon cure the cancer? Now, Arjuna's problem is something else. So, even if he gets heaven or earth kingdom, it's not going to relieve him of his grief. His main problem is killing his seniors, dear ones, near ones. That problem remains same. So, giving him external help by giving him some kingdom here and there is definitely not a solution. And he's saying the same thing. That even if you give me all this, I don't think I can come out of my grief. Okay, we go to quickly to next sloka, slok number 9. Sanjayam vacho eva muktva rishikesham gudakeshah parantapo nayotsi iti govindam uktva toshne babhuvaho. Now Sanjaya says, Arjuna, the one who had conquered the sleep, Gudakesh. Gudak is sleep. Kesh is the god of sleep. That means one who has won over the sleep. He fell silent, Babhuva, after saying to Sri Krishna that he would not fight. Eva mukta rishikesham Gudakesha parantapa na yotsya. I will not fight. Govinda, I will not fight. And Babhuva kept silent. Arjuna is feeling that even the thought of killing his respectable kins is causing him so much of worry, then the real act of killing them will really make his life miserable forever. A mere thought is making him so much disturbed. So if they really get killed, it will make him mad, isn't it? Now there is a very significant and deep fact pointed out here. The word used for Arjuna is Gudakesh, which means one who has conquered sleep. The statement points out to that profound sadhana, the deep spiritual discipline which Arjuna has been practicing. He was a karma yogi. The urge to sleep is something that is controlled by unconscious mind. So what does conquering your sleep mean? This means, as a result of his profound spiritual practices, Arjuna had experienced the dimension beyond the unconscious mind. See, you may remain without sleep for maybe 1 day or 2 days, but by third or fourth day, the sleep will definitely engulf you. Moreover, the lack of sleep will adversely affect your body, your mind, your thoughts, and you will become totally irritable. But here Arjuna had conquered the sleep, Gudakesh. This indicates that Arjuna was a highly evolved, a highly adept spiritual practitioner himself. Sleep was a voluntary phenomenon for him. Otherwise, sleep is a complete involuntary for people like us, no? Furthermore, even if he did not sleep, that did not affect his body, his brain, his mind, his behavior. Such was the prowess. Gudakesh Arjuna. Next sloka, 10th. Tamuvacha Rishikesha prasanniva bharato senayorbhayormadhye vishidantamidam vachaha. Here Bharata means Dhritarashtra, not Arjuna. The Lord of senses, Shri Krishna, smilingly spoke these words to grief and despondency stricken Arjuna, who positioned himself in the two armies. Vishidantamidam vachaha. Vishidantamidam vachaha. See, when the children get scared by some trivial things, the parents smilingly try to remove their fear by saying that कुछ नहीं होगा बेटा मैं हूं ना करो. For example, if the child wants to jump from a 1 foot high wall and he's scared, I will fall down, I will hurt myself and all that, the father will say, don't worry, I'm here, jump, nothing will happen. The amused father smilingly assures the child that nothing of that sort will happen. Likewise, Krishna is amused to see Arjuna's state of despair and confusion. Arjuna is sitting despondently, his hand on his forehead, his limbs trembling, almost unable to breathe. And here, Krishna is smiling, beaming. With an affectionate smile on his face, he starts replying now. From this shloka commences the spiritual knowledge of Bhagavad-Gītā, the nectar for the grief-stricken mankind, which can lead people to the spiritual liberation. So next slok onwards, we are going to start getting Paramatma's message. Next shloka, slok 11. Before that, Śrī-Bhagavānuvaca Aṣaucādanvaṣaucastvam prajñāvādaṅśca bhāṣase gatāso na gatāsoscha nānuṣocanti panditaha. First admonishment comes. Krishna says, you worry for those who are not to be worried for. Aṣaucādanvaṣaucastvam and prajñāvādaṅśca bhāṣase. And yet you talk like a wise man. The wise worry neither for the dead nor for the alive. This shloka contains the spiritual truth that the grief and worry is a condition of mind consciousness, not of a person who has transcendented the mind. Which is why God tells Arjuna that you talk like wise and act like unwise. कथनी और करनी में बहुत अंतर है अर्जुन. You talk like wise, but you are doing unwise things. See, it's a marvelous line where the Lord implies you speak very wise words, but your actions are just opposite of wise. You say you want joy, but the direction in which you are going is towards sorrow. You say you want fulfillment, but what you are going every day is frustration. Sri Krishna is not implying all this to Arjuna by pointing out that your thinking and your behavior are in contradiction. Do you want joy? Let us ask ourselves this question. Do you want joy, security, fulfillment? This is the question you and I should ask ourselves first. And then we must move towards these goals. We all say, yes, we want peace. There is no individual who will say, I don't want peace. There is no nation in the world which will say, we don't want peace. Everybody wants peace. But if we want peace, we must do things that make for peace. If we do things that make for war, only war will come. Ironically, some countries says that they don't want war, all they want is victory. What does it mean? On an individual level, we are all tempted to say, I don't want to fight with my parents, but I want to have my own way. I don't want to have conflict with my partner, but I want to have my own way. Now, when these self-contradictory statements come from us, a wise man, if he is listening to these dialogues, he will simply say, if you want to go to east, you must not go to the west. Shri Krishna is therefore asking all of us through Arjuna that if we want peace, why don't you work for peace? Why your words and your actions are not synchronous? In the second line, Lord is in very strong words. He gives us the secret of our nature. Arjuna has been talking about death, saying that he does not want to he doesn't want to get killed, that he does not want to kill others. But Krishna reminds him that it is only the body that is born and that dies. You and I were born and will never die because our real self is not limited by our physical body. We are spirit, eternal, infinite, immutable. This is the great discovery we make in the climax of meditation. When we follow the steps of 6th Adhyaya Bhagavad-Gītā, this is the thing which we realize during meditation. That we are not body, we are not senses, we are not mind or intellect. We are the Supreme Spirit. Ashocha. Ashocha means something which is not worthy of making shok. Shri Krishna is giving a great message of Sankhya Yoga through this shloka. Life and death is a regular process, and therefore loss of life at some time is inevitable. Therefore, not worth grieving about it. To grieve means to keep things holding. Pakad ke na. Some thought comes to your mind which is making you nervous, unhappy, keep holding it. There are many people who love to be in grief all the time. They'll find some reason to go in sorrow. We unnecessarily keep holding several things in life and create our own prison cells of bondage. We are holding to some unnecessary things. A small story. There was one Arab. He bought 10 camels from the city and he was returning to his village. The night fell and he got tired and was very hungry also. So he did not want to cross the forest in the night and was looking for some shelter in the village. He saw one fakir and requested him for his help. Fakir offered him a place to take rest, but this man was worried about his newly bought 10 camels, as he did not have the rope long enough to tie them. On knowing this, the fakir said, don't worry, I will tie your camels. Both of them went close to camels, and even the fakir did not have the rope. This Arab was in a puzzle as to how this fakir is going to tie the camels without rope. But the fakir went close to each camel, was only acting as if he was tying them, only miming activity. We see the mime films, we see many mime films. So he was only acting as if he's tying them. It was all only an act of miming. And he said that I have tied them all of your camels have been tied down now, and now you can peacefully go to sleep. The Arab was in a great confusion. He thought that this fakir has done some magic or what. He went to sleep, but intermittently he was watching from the window if the camels are still there or they have run away. But all the camels were sitting exactly in the same position as they were, as if they were really tied down by the rope. The morning broke, and he said thanks to Fakir and went close to his camels and was trying to make them stand, but they would not stand. The camels kept sitting only. Fakir said, how can they stand? I tied them down with the rope yesterday night. I tied them with the rope. So how can they stand? Now I will untie them and then they will walk. So again he went close to camels. He did some acting, miming acting, as if he is untying them, and says, okay, now they are free, now they can walk. And he immediately got up and started walking. All these camels started walking one by one, and seeing the highly surprised face of that Arab, the fakir said that this was no magic. The camels really thought that they were tied down and now they have been freed. They had created their own bondage on their own. No one did it for them. After listening to this story, don't you think we are all camels? We create our own fictitious bondage of sorrow, grief, attachment, and unnecessarily get tied down by them. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is going to remove this bondage from us through Bhagavad Gita. And the beginning is already made through Ashocha Sampradhyavadan Shivarsase Gata Suna Gata Sunshcha Nanu Shochanti Pandita. We stop here. Now the forum is open for you to raise questions. Remaining shlokas will continue in the next session. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much, Vikas ji Bhayaji. Definitely, I mean, you made it so interesting and relatable by giving such good examples, Santa Tukaram's, example, and then it's all in the mind. It's not the situation. Well said. It is all about how we bring that lesson to our life. That is the crux of this lesson. Thank you so much, Guruji. Now, before we take up the question from the sadhakas, just a quick announcement. L4 Samskrita Vyakarana classes are scheduled for tomorrow, Sunday, October 27. And please plan on attending the session in the language of your choice. It will be either at 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. IST. And also a new L1 batch will be starting from November 8th. Please do share the details with your family and friend circles so you can be a positive catalyst in their lives. Now, you all know what to do, so I won't have to explain. So Abhishek Bhayaji, please unmute and ask the question.
Jai Shri Krishna, Vikas, sir.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, at the start of the lecture, you said that Arjuna, Krishna had taught three important things: the Swadharma, soul is imperishable, and the Falatyag. So I just wanted to, in a practical sense or in a everyday life, what is our Swadharma? How can we work upon that? If you know that, what is our Swadharma? If you can shed some light on that.
See, Swadharma is what is our obligatory duty.
Okay.
We keep playing different roles in our life. You are a husband of someone, you are a brother of someone, you are a neighbor of someone. So different roles we keep playing. In the office, we are colleague of someone. When we are traveling, we are the co-passenger of someone.
Right.
Now, each one of these roles is expecting us to perform certain prescribed duty. For example, as a son, you are supposed to take good care of your parents. So this is your Swadharma. As a husband, you are supposed to take good care of your family, your wife, your children. As a family head, that is your Swadharma. So Swadharma is not something very complicated to understand. Swadharma is something which your Viveka Buddhi guides you that yes, this is what you should do.
Right.
Swadharma is not something which you have to learn from the books. Swadharma is something which comes to you through your own thoughts, depending upon the roles that you are playing. Sometimes when your role as father is over, you are entering into the role of servant in your company. So there the Swadharma changes.
Right.
So depending upon the role that you are playing, whatever is your obligatory duty is your Swadharma. In the battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna's Swadharma as a Kshatriya was to fight.
Right.
Okay.
Got it, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anil Gupta ji, Bhaiya, please, yeah.
हाँ बहुत सुंदर विवेचन दिया आपने। तो प्रश्न जैसे ऊंट के बारे में है, हमारी जिंदगी में भी हम हमारे रिलेशन में वी आर टाइड टू ईच अदर, like a wife or children or mother. We get so sad. Even some people change the way they live the life. Like what Arjuna was saying at that time, yeah, death is inevitable, correct? Whether it's going to come, knowingly this we don't understand. So what is the first step you think, in your opinion, one should do? Like learn from Gita along with this shlok. What you'll suggest a common person?
See, this is exactly the topic that we are going to discuss throughout the discussion of this subject, this adhyaya, I mean to say. In the next session, we are going to study really some important things which will guide us exactly on the question that you have raised. There is a shloka which we will study next time, which will say, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumare yovane yara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatrada muhyati. Our body undergoes through different changes: childhood, young age, old age, and acquiring new body. So this is the link of the same chain: childhood, young age, old age, acquiring new body. And this cycle keeps on repeating. So something which is inevitable, might worry for that, first thing. Secondly, we are going to learn that all these aspects are related to our gross body. There are three bodies which we have. One is gross body, another is Sukshma body, and third is Karan Sharir, causal body. So during the course of discussion, see, we are in love with our gross body. But when we learn the techniques of this Adhyaya, Sankhya Yoga, we will learn that gross body is of no use at all. What is of most important is our Sukshma Sharir. Our Sukshma Sharir is the one which controls our 10 Indriyas and which keeps getting action done through our gross body. That's why when the Sukshma Sharir leaves the prana, when the Sukshma Sharir leaves the body is still there. Our gross body is still there. 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, everything is there. But the dead body cannot stand, cannot walk, cannot breathe, cannot do anything. Because all these days, that Sukshma Sharir was controlling that. Now we don't know what is Sukshma Sharir. We never bothered about Sukshma Sharir. We were falling in love with our gross body only. But when we discuss all these shlokas in the next sessions, we will learn where to love and where to hate. We are not gross body. Once that thought comes to us, and then I will share with you some wonderful experiences as to how this Sukshma Sharir can play magic in our life. Knowing Sukshma Sharir is a great boon. If we know Sukshma Sharir, then we really are really knowledgeable then. Then we are really saying that, yes, I am learning Gita. So this Adhyaya is extremely important, extremely interesting from the discussion point of view. All these questions what you have in mind, at the moment I will only say this: Dehino sunyata dehe kaumara yovane yara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muhyati. The brave people, dheer people, we are all adheer people. But the people who are really great in thoughts, they never bother about this. Birth, childhood, young age, old age, similarly death. They take it in the same sequence. After death, again birth, again childhood, again young age, again old age, again death. So dhiras tatrana muhyati. they never get eluded because of this cycle of Srishti, of birth and death. We'll discuss
ठीक है
this.
सर,
This
thank
is
you so
interesting. We'll
much.
discuss this. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one quick question I had was, sometimes you don't like something like my daughter is getting alliance with a boy. I think is not good for her, but I don't control that. Correct? What should be the thought process in my mind for this kind of things, so that we know it is their destiny. We know that still we are concerned about whether they will be fine or what decision she's making will be fine. What do you, Miss? I know these are all individual things, but I'm saying a greater perspective. How do we come out of this kind of a agony or a thought process?
See, every individual is different. That one thing we should understand. Secondly, every adult has the right to take his own decision. That also we should respect. Now, as a parent, our help to our children should be only that they are on the proper track and they are taking proper decisions. If you feel that the decision is based on some wrong assumptions, sorry to put it in blunt terms, if a Hindu girl in a family, if she falls in love with a Muslim boy, and then if she says, no, I want to get married with him, we should try every possible things in our means to stop it. Because that is destruction. We can read the future of destruction. But barring such extreme cases, if the decision is taken based on some logical thinking, then instead of opposing it, probably we could support it also. Many of my relatives have done intercaste marriage and most of them are happy.
Yeah.
So that freedom
Yeah,
we should
that
also allow to our children.
ठीक है, धन्यवाद भाई साहब. I think it's a good one. I'll allow other people to talk. Thank you so much. I think the lecture was very good with the
Thank you. Thank you.
Lalita ji Didi, please, you can go ahead and ask the question.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna.
मैंने भगवत गीता और रामायण दोनों बुक्स खरीदे हैं.
हाँ.
फर्स्ट कौन सा उसमें से कौन सा पढ़ना, डिसीजन नहीं ले रहे हैं. उसके लिए आप बोलिए मुझे कौन सा फर्स्ट पढ़ना, बोलता मैं वही फर्स्ट स्टार्ट करूँ.
See, Ramayana is definitely good grantha to study and read, but if my personal opinion, if you are asking, I would consider reading Geeta, understanding Geeta should be the first choice. Because, as I said some time back also, that when we buy a machine, we are given a manual with that, how to use this machine. You buy a washing machine or a dishwasher or an air conditioner or a TV or a music system, you get an operational manual, how to use it. When we get human birth, we get human species, our birth in this life, we get Gita as a manual, how to live the life. Ramayana, other stories of Mahabharata or any other spiritual literature that you study can be supporting document for it. But the basic crux that human beings, how should they should plan their life is Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you sir for your advice.
Thank you.
Jagrati ji Didi, Jai Shri Krishna, please, you can go ahead and ask the question.
Jai Shri Krishna to everybody.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Vikas ji, let me bow down first.
Oh, no,
What
no,
a
no,
fantastic
no.
things. My goodness. I was studying, they were sending the meanings, I was reading meanings, but the explanation made me really, my eyes are, I can't say open, but are opening. My problem is, why is it called Sankhya? Sankhya Yoga.
So, as I was saying, Sankhya, the literal meaning of Sankhya is intellect filled with wisdom. Now, our intellect can
Then
be filled with
we call Sankhya for the numbers.
Sankhya is number. And Sankhya also means the knowledge. Sanskrit, two meanings of Sankhya is there. One is Sankhya, that is number, of course. And second one is the knowledge. So for this Adhyay, we take Sankhya as knowledge. Sankhya as knowledge.
Okay.
And this entire thing that we are going to discuss He's going to fill our wisdom with knowledge. He's going to fill our intellect with wisdom.
Let me hope so.
It will. It will.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ilaji Didi, Jai Shri Krishna, please go ahead.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. My question was same question, that
Yeah.
why these adhyayas named as Sankhya Yoga?
So Sankhya,
Vikas Yoga and all these we read.
Ah.
It name is okay, all adhyay, but why these adhyayas specially called Sankhya Yoga?
As I said,
Same
Sankhya is
question.
related to our wisdom, intellect filled
Yes,
with wisdom. And a typical Sankhya yogi, his psychology is that he does not believe in karma. He dereds karma. In
okay,
Sankhya yogi, he focuses more on buddhi, on jnana, on intellect. He
okay,
thinks that every karma is going to put a bondage on him. Even if he does some sattvic karma, it is going to put a bondage. We learn this from 14th Adhyay, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga.
yes,
ऊर्ध्वं
yes,
दत्वास्ता मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसा जगन्गुणस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसा. So ऊर्ध्वं, okay, you may get ऊर्ध्व गच्छन्ति place, but it is going to put you under bondage. So any karma, even if it is sattvic karma, is going to create a bondage on you. And so long as the bondage is not removed, the cycle of birth and death will get never removed. So a
yes, yes.
Sankhya yogi, he hates karma because he says he's going to put me under bondage. If tomorrow if I help somebody with a good intention that I am helping a poor man in need, it is going to put a bondage on me. Why should I do that then? This is his thinking. It may not be perfectly
Okay.
all right. But Sankhya Yogi focuses more on his Jivatma connecting it to Paramatma. That is the whole objective of his life. The journey of connecting Jivatma with Paramatma is the sole objective of a Sankhya Yogi. And that
Yes.
he wants to attain without Karma Yoga. He does karmas, only basic minimum karma to retain mental
but
body.
But
other
karma yoga is to compulsory.
Karma, he cannot, nobody can survive without karma.
Without karma.
Without karma. So he does karmas only bare necessary karmas which will maintain his body.
Okay.
Because if he does his karma, he cannot eat food also. No?
Yes,
So
yes.
only that much karma he believes. Rest
Okay.
other karma which a karma yogi will do, he would not do that. He does not believe in karma because he says this is going to create a bondage on me. I don't want any bondage. So his focus is more on Jnana, Jnana, Jnana. But this is not everybody's cup of tea.
Yes, yes.
Jnana has to have some previous sanskar also.
Yes,
Isn't it?
yes.
Unless you have previous sanskar of Jnana, you cannot follow Jnana, Sankhya Yoga so easily.
No, no, no.
But people like us, the best way is to follow Karma Yoga, Nishkam
Yes,
Karma Yoga.
yes, really. Karma yoga is the main.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Virenji Bhayaji, please go ahead and ask the question. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Vikas ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. I have a general question. How many yuga, Chatur yugas have passed as per Gita? You know, and how many Chatur yugas are there in one Manvantar? Now we have a seventh Manu, right? We have a seventh Manu going on, and we are on the fourth yuga, that's Kali Yuga of the Manvantar.
Yeah.
So I'm getting confused, trying to
In
put together.
8th Adhyaya Bhagavad-Gītā, when we learn the calendar of Srishti, we come to know that all this 1000 Chatur Yuga is one day of Brahmaji.
Okay.
And 1000 Chatur Yuga is one night of Brahmaji. So that is coming to equivalent to around 9 billion human years. So 9 billion human years is the one day of Brahmaji. So likewise, Brahmaji's lifespan is 100 years. This is the calendar. And Kali Yuga has just started. Kali Yuga is 432,000 years is the span of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has just started. So we still have a very long way to go for end of Kali Yuga.
Okay, so does that mean that every Chatur Yuga there is a Sri Ram, and there is everything is repeating every
Yeah,
Chatur Yuga?
this is Dwapar Yuga,
So,
Satyayuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga. This cycle keep on
so
repeating.
far, 1,000 times Shri Krishna has been visited. I mean, in this particular yuga. I mean, Dwapar Yuga.
No. It does
1,000
not
times
mean
he has
so.
visited.
It does not mean so. Paramatma takes his avatar, his manifestation, only when he thinks it is necessary. Yada yada
Yeah, but
idharma
every yuga is the same, right? Isn't that same or no? It's a repetition.
No.
I mean,
Yuga
you,
may be
you have
same,
a
but
Satyuga, you have Dwapar Yuga, you have a, so all this Chatur Yuga, they repeat one after other, and you say
yes.
1,000 times it has repeated,
Yeah,
and
but it does
1,000
not
times.
say that Paramatma will take his manifested form in every yuga. It depends when he finds it necessary to take. Sometimes he sends his representatives also, which are
So how
also
many
in
times he has
Paramatma.
manifested so far?
We are saying no that so far Vishnu has taken so many avatar. Now we are waiting for that Kalki avatar.
But
Kalki
this is
avatar
only for one particular Chatur Yuga you are talking about, right? So you just say that there are 1,000 Chatur Yugas been gone.
I'm
So
talking about
every
yes.
Satya Yuga, every Dwapar Yuga, every all these yugas, they basically they have a avatar has to be there, right? Because I read somewhere that how Bhagwan Maruti, he found a ring, and he went down in the patal and to find a ring, and then that time Rama let his body go, and then he found a mountain of rings. So every time he goes there, he finds a ring. So basically, that means it has been going on and on and on. So it has Rama avatar and Krishna avatar has been going on and on and on. So it's a repetition. So it's like this.
Krishna has said this to Arjuna. Bahuni me vetitani janmani tavacha Arjuna tanyam ved sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. You and me have taken millions of births so far. I remember all of my births, but you don't remember. That is what Krishna has said in Gita.
So according to Gita, if you say so, that's 8 billion years old. How old is the human race then?
You can imagine if Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga, their lifespan, if you say, as I told you, if one Chatur Yuga, if you take, it is coming to around 43,20,000 years. One Chatur Yuga. 43,20,000.
Times 1,000?
So times 1,000 becomes 1,000 Chatur Yuga. That becomes
so
one.
it's like a trillions of years old. The human race is trillions of years old.
Maybe.
I mean,
but instruction also has taken place so many times. See, there is a Sarga, Kalpa, Mahasarga, Mahakalpa. Four things are to be there to be remembered. When the Brahmadeva's one day is finished, that means his 1,000 Chatur Yuga is finished. When the night of Brahmadeva starts, it is the end of the universe. Then again, for one full day, for one full night of Brahmadeva, it is all silent on the cosmos. Nothing is happening. Cosmos gets dissolved in Paramatma. And when the Brahmadeva new day starts, then again the universe starts coming into existence. So this cycle keeps on going on for 100 years of Brahmadeva. And at the end of 100 years, what happens is Mahasarga and Mahakalpa. So that time even Brahmadeva gets dissolved in Paramatma after 100 years of Brahmadeva.
Yeah, as per the modern science, we believe that 4.37 billion years old is the Earth. So how can we say that human race is beyond Earth's existence? So are we alien? I don't know. I mean, if you say that trillions of years old, the Vedas are trillions of years old.
Yeah, if we
And the
take the
human race is trillions of years old. So we surpass the, I mean, ever since Earth was even formed, if we say so. I mean, how does that, it doesn't tally at all. I mean, in a modern science, you try to think about it.
I agree with you. We get lost, honestly speaking. When we enter into these calculations of years that we have existed, we get lost. We don't find a clue as to really how old this earth is and how old this human race is. Sometimes we say the human race earlier was much more advanced and developed than what it is today. But there are no documents to prove all that. We have documents right from only Mahabharata time or Vedas time. Before that, what exactly really existed, we don't know. The creation of universe, creation of cosmos, from where it came into existence. So
And
this
where
is
this 28 yugas come in the picture then? 28 yuga. You know, in Marathi there's a bhanga that yuge 28 vitevar yubha vamangi rakhumai dise divya shobha. Yuge 28. So this is the seventh Manu, and every Manu has 4 yugas. So that's what I was thinking. But if you say there's thousands of years, Chaturyuga is being thousands of years. So this Manu is.
But in one Chaturyuga there are 4 manvantaras. So there are 4 Manus taking in one Chaturyuga. There are 4 Manvantara. 14 Manvantara, sorry. 14 Manvantara.
Manvantara is, I think, the change of Manu, right?
Change of Manu.
So every Manu will have so many yugas. I mean, so many yugas will be controlled by one Manu.
So you divide that by 14 and then you come to know as to one Manu is how much, how many, what is the lifespan? 14.
So there's no actual meaning to 28 yugas at all. I mean, how does that? Samartha Ramdas Swami wrote that arti, you know.
It may have some relevance to some particular story in mythologies in Mahabharata, which I may not be knowing, but 28 yugas, there is no concrete evidence of 28 yugas.
So he's another avatar of Lord Shri Krishna, you know, the Vithoba.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, he's been standing on the break for last 28 years.
Vithoba is also Vishnu avatar.
Yeah. So it's kind of getting more and more confusing, you know. I mean,
the more deep you go into it, particularly the calendar part of it, the calendar part of it becomes more complicated. I will tell you one example. We say that the Mahabharata happened 5,500 years back. And then we say Mahabharata happened at the end of Dwapar Yuga and at the beginning of Kali Yuga. We say like that. So exactly when did the Ramayana take place? It took place much before Mahabharata.
Of course. Yeah.
It took much before Mahabharata. So to find out the exact calendar of all these incidences in the history of Mahabharata or Ramayana, date by date, or to find out what exactly is the calendar, is not so easy, honestly. That's why our main focus should be on to acquire the knowledge imparted through these different means, rather than going into complications wherein we are not finding any easy answers. But reading Bhagavad Gita does not restrict you. If you don't know the Chaturyuga and you don't know the Brahmadeva life, that does not hamper your reading the Gita or understanding the Gita.
I agree, 100% I agree. But I'm talking about not myself. I'm talking about the young generation. They have this question. I'm trying to answer them, and I'm getting, you know, I'm just getting dead bored. You know, I don't know what else I can explain. I mean, that's my son, my daughter, and everybody, the next generation. That's what I'm trying to find
some satisfactory answers to this. But my point of telling to them will be, try to first understand what knowledge is, then go into other aspects of all this. There are questions. We cannot find answers to all the 1,000 questions that we have in our mind. But wherever we can find, and wherever we can find some solace, some solution to our life problems, to our human life problems, we should try to do that, or try to get entangled in something of which we cannot come out on our own anytime in our life. If we keep on thinking of this till the end of our life, we will be clueless as to what is the calendar of this Srishti. So we should get stuck on this kind of dialogue. Otherwise, we should focus more on the knowledge gaining things. Yeah. Thank you.
Ashutosh Vaidya, Jai Shri Krishna. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Jai Shri Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Vaidya. Yeah.
I would like to know the actual meaning of this second sloka, which I could not get into. What is that? Anarjya yustam aswargam pakirti karam Arjuna. Anarjya yustam aswargam, what is that actually meaning?
Huh? Anarya.
The second,
No? Say Arya.
the
One
third,
who is Arya is Anarya.
Justam Swargam. Justam means
Justam is to speak, to behave. So Arya people don't behave like this. That is what the meaning is. Anarya Justam, wise people do not eat this. Eat. Justam is to eat. But here the meaning is not eat. Arya, that means the wise people do not behave like this. Anarya Justamas and Aswargam and Akirtikaram. So this is not this will not get you to the heaven, Aswargam. It will not add to your fame, your grace, Akirtikaram, and Anarya Justam, you are not a Arya then. We discuss what is Arya, and one who is not Arya is Anarya.
yes, I got it. Regarding this Kasmalamidam, what is that Kasmalamidam?
Kashmal is the fear, dirty thoughts in mind, depressing thoughts in mind, Kashmal.
Okay, Vishameva Samupastitam. Visha means that is
Visham means
wrong
the
ideas.
crisis. Visham means the critical situation. Visham is critical situation.
Okay, thank you.
Samupasthitam is arrived. This time has arrived when the situation has become critical. When both the armies are standing opposite each other, any time the war will break. This is a crisis. This is an hour of crisis. So Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam. Why this despondency has come into your mind at this critical hour? That is the question.
Yes, thank you. Looks like there are no more hand raises. And Guruji, there are many messages in our chat box. Everybody echoing that, they found this session so interesting, and they're thanking you. Our sentiments exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Now we will move forward, and yes, I would like to just take a quick minute to thank our technostar Sunil Bhayaji and Santosh.
Bhayaji is there. Sunil ji, namaste.
Yes, yeah. So for coordinating this entire session so nicely, thank you so much, and our entire technical team and all the devotees who attended this session. Let us continue our Gita sadhana and attend these sessions to enrich our spiritual knowledge. May Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā be our life guide. Before we, conclude the session, let us thank Bhagavan Shri Krishna for guiding us all along and for making this session successful. Now, to do the prarthana, we have Srimati Sunita Jaiswal ji with us. Sunita ji is from Gurugram, Haryana. She holds a BSc, LLB, and B.Ed degrees. Associated with Gita Pariwar since April 2023, she is doing seva as a co-trainer for L1, L2, and L3 levels. Jai Shri Krishna, Sunita ji Didi. Please.
जय श्री कृष्णा सभी को जय श्री कृष्णा योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Sunita ji Didi. Beautiful prayer. Thanks so much. Now let us all recite Hanuman Chalisa and seek the blessings of Lord Hanuman ji.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
जय श्री राम, जय हनुमान, जय श्री कृष्ण। सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु। सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम तत्सत्। Thank you everybody. Have a blessed